Hello, midlife learners. I have a session today for those UMPI YourPace students out there who are looking for ways to get more classes done in a shorter period of time. For reference, I did my bachelor's through UMPI's YourPace program, and I did the 10 classes that I had to do for my residency in one session and in about 5 weeks. Now, I will say that a lot of that is due to the fact that I wasn't working at the time and I was able to devote a lot of my days to writing. So I will say that the biggest factor in getting through these classes is how much time you have available. But that said, I use this spreadsheet that I'm going to show you, and it helped me keep track of everything and it helped me move efficiently through my classes. So I want to show you how I set up my spreadsheet. And along the way, I'll give you a few tips and tricks to help you move more efficiently and make sure that you are completing things and not stuck waiting on weekends and things like that. Okay, so let me go to my screen share. And I set up a blank spreadsheet right now because I wanted to show you how I put this together and kind of walk you through it. I didn't just want to show you a completed spreadsheet. So in the far left column, I give my class. I'm just going to use a made up class here because it doesn't really matter. The same philosophy applies no matter what class you're taking. So this is Business 101. Oops, 101. And then in the next column, I list the module or milestone that I'm working on. Sometimes it's a one-to-one correlation. Module 1 has milestone 1, module 2 has milestone 2, and then sometimes it is totally different, and there'll be 2 milestones per module or a module that has a quiz but doesn't really have a big milestone assignment. So I'll just usually give it module 1, milestone 1, but if you want to shorthand it, you can just say milestone 2, that sort of thing. And then I also will list one for the draft final, and I'll have one in here for the final. So if you're not used to the UMPI YourPace program, submitting a draft final is one of the best things you can do. The milestones, although you have to get at least a 3 or a 4 to be able to, on all of them, to unlock your finals, when you get to that final draft, the final is the only thing that counts for your grade. The milestones are not factored into the final grade for the course, but you have the option of submitting a draft. And if you submit a draft, you can get feedback before it's finally graded. So if unless you're in a real time crunch, I recommend always, always, always do the draft final. So now this class would be short. It only has 2 milestones, a draft final and a final, but sometimes they're longer. 4, 5 is about average. I just did a class that has 6, so it varies. So in the next column, I keep track of when I submitted the assignments. And this is important because professors have 72 hours to return your grades. And so you want to keep on top of that. You want to keep it moving. So when you submit an assignment, a milestone or a draft final or a final, you get an email to your school email inbox that has the date and time that it was submitted. And I copy and paste that little chunk there and I put it in this column. Sorry, I copied this from another spreadsheet, so it was grayed out. But so I put it in that column, and what I do, this is my own system for keeping track. I highlight it red if I'm waiting, and that way, when I'm going down my spreadsheet, I can see all the things that I'm waiting on, so that I know, okay, well, this I'm still waiting on. This I'm still waiting on. This is graded, and then for my own record keeping. In the next column, I mark the date that it was graded. So let's say it was 11/7/25, and I put the grade 3 out of 4, 4 out of 4, whatever it was. It's not necessary, but I think that it's a great way of keeping track as you're going so that you know where you're at with everything. It's pretty low overhead. I don't like to do really complicated tracking, but this keeps me moving forward because what you'll find is that you will get to a point where if you're not careful, you will have multiple classes open and you're waiting on all of them for grades before you can submit a final. And you don't really want to be in that position, particularly on a weekend when you can't open new classes. If you're trying to keep it moving, what you want to do is make sure that you always have a class you can be moving forward in. This doesn't mean that you have to spend every hour of every day working on it. I definitely don't advocate for burning out, but you always want to have something that you could be doing. And you always want to be chipping away at it when you can. A milestone here, a milestone there, it really adds up. So, this is how I keep track of everything. And I typically will put all of the classes for my session, even the ones that I haven't started, I'll list them out. Even though I don't know those modules and milestones, it just kind of gets helps me get a picture of all the classes that I'm going through. If you have any questions about how to track classes, how to move efficiently through your classes, aside from having the time to do them, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to share what's worked for me and what I've seen work for other people. And I wish you all the best on your UMPI Your Pace journey. And otherwise, I will see you later, midlife learners.